Now that you've mentioned that the cricketing voices and especially the former cricketing voices have a lot to do with how we perceive things. You have been one of those voices in the sports broadcasting who's always been vocal about things which are non-cricket, whether
Hmm.
it be politics or anything else. While what we have seen in the last 4 5 years is that the others who are pretty much in the same field refuse or shy away from this. So where does this part of you come from? Is it because you've been a lawyer before, that is why it comes to you naturally? Or you just think that if you think that the cricketers can, or sort of influential voices can sort of make a narrative, or make people think about it, you feel that because you ask those people to those cricketers to sort of come out and say the same things, hence you do the same, because you don't want to be sort of we say hypocritical, because you can't ask someone else to do something which you yourself wouldn't practice. So what is your whole
It's a,
take on
it's
this?
a very simple thing, Gurkirat. We've in recent years come up with a term for an entire industry of people called influencers, right? What is the meaning of influence? And um, is your influence merely to sell a product, uh, and at times even an idea, or does it mean you stand for something? You stand for a positive influence upon those who you are influencing. And in India, cricketers influence tremendously. Uh, the products that they endorse, they command a premium for, because that is the level of influence they have, right? And suddenly, if they start endorsing pan masala or gutka, or even in some cases alcohol, they cop a lot of flack for it, because we as a society believe that is not something that someone who we look up to ought to be influencing, ought to be selling, or to be influencing us to buy. So when we've set certain standards for them, I just believe that their status in society goes well beyond cricket. We worship our cricketers. We put them second to God. There are some places where there are temples on Dhoni and temples on Tendulkar. People used to fall at Gavaskar's feet when they came to Bombay. They still do the same with the Tendulkar. Uh, this is the level of adulation and worship we've given our cricketers. So is it unreasonable to expect uh, them using this pedestal that we've put them on, that people have put them on, just use it positively? That's all. Now, I know what's going to be said here. Is positively only if they align with your own politics? No, it's not. Of course not. But this isn't political. When riots break in Sri Lanka and Mahila Jayawardene and Kumar Sangakkara call for peace, condemn violence, and mention that majoritarian violence is not something that serves the country, because they have grown up in civil war in Sri Lanka. They know what it's like, right? But they're cricket's biggest icons there. They choose to lend a voice. They don't sit silent because they are part of a privileged bubble that it doesn't affect them. They stand for the right cause. They don't need to. I expect the same from our major sports persons, because we've also been a country that's always been polarized on religion, on caste, and whatnot. So they must stand for the right thing. The cricket team is a beautiful thing. Nobody's ever been removed from the Indian team because they belong to a certain religion or caste. Nobody's ever been discriminated against because they were a Dalit, or they were a Sikh, or they were a Muslim, or they were Parsi. Never. So that is the beauty of the team. And for me, by extension, these cricketers, with the massive social profiles that they have, should use their influence for good. If you don't want to say anything at all, okay, fine. I'll still buy that. I don't personally agree with it, because I think every person as an influence should speak. I'm not going to change the world, right? I have 20 or 1,000 followers on Twitter. It's not like if I say something, tomorrow the world is going to change. But I just think it's incumbent upon every figure, public figure, big or small, to speak. If you choose not to speak, to may be neutral, or not to speak because you may not know enough about the subject, fair point, no problem. Or it is uncomfortable, it's a personality thing. Maybe as a personality I am more outspoken, and therefore it's easier for me. Somebody who's a little more introverted, of which there may be plenty celebrities and public figures, they may not want to speak. But my problem in recent times, in particular with the incident after the farmers' protest, and then the Rihanna tweet, and then the resultant coordinated campaign by the Indian cricketers speaking out, is that now we're in different territory. If you don't want to speak on a political issue because that's what you've done all your life, fine. But the minute you participate in what is clearly a coordinated campaign by the government or by the ruling party, which is by definition propaganda, and it's fine. If that is where you stand, no problem. If you have put out a message which is part of propaganda, part of a coordinated campaign, which is a political point of view expressed directly or indirectly, you will be subject to political criticism. That is where I stand on that. It's as simple as that. And then you should have the conviction to back it up, right? Um, Gautam Gambhir is a I have a lot of time for him as an analyst. We have different political views, but there is not that doesn't change how our equation is when we work together. And he's been very helpful, in times of need, in recent times, etc. I tweeted on that too. So that's fine. Uh, but at least I know where I stand with him, or at least we know where we all stand with him. What I don't like is a lot of cricketers wanting it both ways. They'll put out stuff to keep certain powers happy, but they don't want to be open to criticism of the same. So for me, it's a simple line. You know, influencers in today's day and age need to stand for something beyond sport. You may disagree with that, but that's where I stand on it.
Fair enough. I think what you mentioned about what you've basically mentioned is that we do talk of cricket being a religion that unites everyone, but we need to
Yeah.
start to be putting it into practice. That whenever there is something that is happening, which is not beneficial for the society, maybe the cricket, the religion which we all follow, that should come and stand for us. And I think it's quite fair enough. I don't think it's something which is too much to ask for. Another thing, what I've always felt on this is that it's not that cricketers are the only sports person in India. There have been many different sports persons as well who've done quite a lot. Someone like a Dhyan Chand, has had a lot of achievements. So has Abhinav Bindra. So has Vishwanathan Anand. But the reason why cricketers become superstars is because of the love of people. Hence, I think the moral responsibility rather is a little more than what you would expect of other sports person, purely because sport fans are what are the people who have made cricketers as superstars. So I think I completely agree with you on this, that if you get all of that love from the fans and become what you become due to the fans, it's time that somewhere down the line you do sort of stand for them.
I mean, just the term we use for them, superstars. Yeah, superstars are great, right? But are they role models? Are they heroes? And we have to understand those terms more intricately now and not use them loosely. They can be superstar players, they can be celebrities and be entitled to a lot of privileges that they already are. But are they really role models? And are they heroes in the true sense? Is something that every fan should ask themselves. Because you look around the world and you think of sportsmen, actors in other countries that have chosen to use their public platform for, to exercise it for causes that go well beyond their profession. And I know that there is a balance to this argument in reality, which is a lot of other countries afford them more security, afford them more protection. Whereas someone is always insecure in India. If they say something, could they lose their job? If they say something, could there be repercussions? So I guess it's a two-way street. You need to create a sense of security for people to be out, to be speaking freely, not have an environment of fear when it comes to voicing opinion. But if times are tough or if times are challenging, then if those in power or those with the privileges don't speak out, then who will? So that's just where I stand on it.
Thanks a lot.